Have you ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or disconnected from the world around you? What if I told you that the key to unlocking a more fulfilling life has been hiding in plain sight for decades? Today, we're diving into the profound wisdom of Alan Watts, a philosopher who bridged Eastern and Western thought, and whose words continue to resonate with millions worldwide. Get ready to challenge your perceptions, find peace in chaos, and discover the extraordinary in the ordinary. This is Alan Watts' Wisdom for Modern Life. 5 quotes to transform your perspective. Quote 1. The present moment. Let's start with one of Alan Watts' most powerful insights. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. This quote comes from Watts' exploration of the nature of change and our relationship with time. But what does it mean for us today in our fast-paced, ever-changing world? Think about it. How often do we resist change, clinging to the familiar even when it no longer serves us? Watts is telling us that life itself is change, a constant flow of experiences. By resisting, we create our own suffering. So how can we join the dance in our daily lives? 1. Practice mindfulness. Start your day with a 5-minute meditation, focusing on your breath and the present moment. 2. Embrace new experiences. Say yes to opportunities that scare you a little. That's where growth happens. 3. Adapt your perspective. When faced with unexpected changes, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Remember, the present moment is all we ever truly have. Are you fully living in it, or are you always waiting for the next big thing? Quote 2. The illusion of separation. Now let's explore another profound insight from Alan Watts. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. Watts often spoke about the interconnectedness of all things, challenging our perception of separateness. But how does this apply to our modern lives, where we often feel isolated and disconnected? Consider this. Every choice you make, every interaction you have, ripples out into the world in ways you might never see. You're not just a passive observer of life, you're an active participant in the unfolding of the universe. How can we embody this wisdom? 1. Practice empathy. Before judging others, pause and consider their perspective. We're all part of the same cosmic tapestry. 2. Engage in acts of kindness. Do something nice for a stranger. Remember, what you do for others, you do for yourself. 3. Connect with nature. Spend time outdoors, observing the intricate web of life. How are you a part of this grand ecosystem? Ask yourself, if you truly understood your connection to everything around you, how would it change the way you live? Quote 3. The power of letting go. Our third quote touches on a challenge we all face. To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. Watts used this metaphor to illustrate the paradox of control in our lives. In a world where we're constantly told to take charge and make things happen, this wisdom seems counterintuitive. But let's break it down. How often do we create stress and anxiety by trying to control every aspect of our lives? By gripping too tightly, we exhaust ourselves and miss out on the flow of life. Here's how we can practice floating in our daily lives. 1. Release perfectionism. Set realistic goals and accept that not everything will go exactly as planned. 2. Practice surrender. When faced with a challenge, take a deep breath and ask, what if I trusted the process? 3. Cultivate flexibility. Be open to alternative paths to your goals. Sometimes, letting go of one approach opens up better opportunities. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to so tightly that it's preventing you from moving forward? Quote 4. The joy of play. Now let's explore a quote that challenges our notion of purpose. This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. Watts often spoke about the Western world's obsession with purpose and seriousness, encouraging us to rediscover the playfulness of existence. But how can we apply this in our busy, goal-oriented lives? Think about it. When was the last time you did something purely for the joy of doing it, with no expectation of a result? Here are some ways to bring more play into your life. 1. Reframe your perspective. Look at your daily tasks as opportunities for creativity and enjoyment, not just items to check off a list. 2. Engage in purposeless activities. Set aside time for hobbies or activities that have no practical goal other than enjoyment. 3. Embrace curiosity. Approach challenges with a spirit of exploration rather than dread. What can you learn? How can you make it interesting? Ask yourself, if you treated your life as a grand game rather than a series of obligations, how would your approach change? Quote 5. The wisdom of not knowing. Our final quote challenges our need for certainty. The desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing. To hold your breath is to lose your breath. Watts often spoke about the paradox of seeking absolute certainty in an inherently uncertain world. But how does this apply to our lives today, where we're constantly bombarded with information and expected to have all the answers? Consider this. Our quest for absolute security often leads to more anxiety, not less. By accepting uncertainty, we open ourselves to new possibilities and reduce unnecessary stress. Here's how we can embrace the wisdom of not knowing. 1. Practice saying, "I don't know." It's liberating to admit when you're unsure. It opens the door to learning and growth. 2. Embrace calculated risks. Step out of your comfort zone regularly. Remember, growth happens at the edge of certainty. 3. Cultivate wonder. Approach life with curiosity rather than judgment. What can you learn from situations that seem unclear or challenging? Ask yourself, how might your life change if you embraced uncertainty as an exciting part of the journey, rather than something to be feared? As we've explored these 5 profound quotes from Alan Watts, we've touched on themes of presence, interconnectedness, surrender, playfulness, and embracing uncertainty. These aren't just philosophical concepts. They're practical tools for navigating the complexities of modern life. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey of small, consistent changes. Start by choosing one idea that resonated with you today and commit to implementing it in your life this week. Ask yourself, a year from now, how do you want your perspective on life to be different? What small step can you take today to move in that direction? The wisdom of Alan Watts reminds us that we are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of its unfolding. Your choices, your actions, your very being contributes to the grand tapestry of existence. So I challenge you, go forth and dance with life. Embrace change, connect deeply, let go gracefully, play joyfully, and find peace in the unknown. The world is waiting for your unique contribution. This is your moment. How will you choose to live it?